All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go and get started with the Memorial Day of Remembrance on today. My name is Lester Woods. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer here for the Missouri Department of Transportation, and I am privileged to welcome you to our 13th annual Day of Remembrance ceremony. Today, we gather to honor the memory of the 140 MoDOT employees who have given their lives in service to the citizens of Missouri. And the first thing I'd like to do is take a moment to recognize the families of our fallen workers who are here with us on today. The family of Joseph Slayton, the family of Lyndon Epker, and the family of James Brooks. Can we recognize them with an applause for their presence today?
They're here, Keith Perry.
As well as the family of Keith Perry. Can we recognize them as well? Have we missed any other families? Okay. We would also like to acknowledge Mark Frazen's attendance at today's events. Mark was injured in a work zone crash in 2009 when the truck mounted attenuator he was driving was struck by an 18-wheeler. Mark, can you raise your hand for us to acknowledge you? Thank you, Mark. Thank you all for being here today as we honor the sacrifices of your loved ones. We will never forget the positive impact that they left on us as well as the state of Missouri. Please know that you're always in our thoughts, and we will continue to honor the memory of your loved ones. We surely appreciate your presence here today. We'd also like to acknowledge our Ride for Remembrance group. The group rode here today from our St. Louis, Southwest, and Northeast districts in honor of our fallen workers. This group raised money for the 1033 Benevolence Fund, which provides financial assistance to the families of state employees who have lost their lives providing service to the citizens of Missouri. Thank you for everyone who participated in this ride in memory of our fallen workers to help raise money for their families. Can we acknowledge them with an applause as well? I also want to take a moment to recognize how emotional and heartfelt today is, not only for the family members of our fallen workers, but also for our MoDOT family as well. Every year, we do everything we can to prevent adding another employee's name to this list. So thanks to each of you who are here or may be tuning in virtually today to remember and honor our fallen team members. Can we give the MoDOT employees a round of applause as well? Okay, our partners from the Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop Elf will begin our ceremony. Will our color guard please present the colors?
Forward, up, left, 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 left. Mark time, march. Detail, hop. Left, face. Present, huh.
Now, please join me in saying our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, follow. Right, face. Forward, buck. Left, 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 left.
Thank you, Troop Elf. Can we give them a hand as well? We appreciate them for they've continued to be a supportive partner in all of our endeavors, and we thank them for their presence here today. Now I am pleased to present to you and ask you to welcome our MoDOT Director, Ed Hassinger, for comments.
Thanks, Lester. I want to thank everybody for being here at our annual Day of Remembrance. You know, for 13 years now, we've gathered here at the Fallen Worker Memorial on the third Thursday in September at 1:30 to pay tribute to those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. This tradition started because the first ceremony back in 2013 honored 131 fallen workers. Since that time, 10 more names have unfortunately been added to the memorial. Each name has been lovingly carved into the memorial to immortalize their service because they are more than just names. Their parents, their siblings, their grandparents, their spouses, their friends, and their coworkers. Each year, we will continue to remember and honor the sacrifice of the individuals that endured that for the sake of the citizens of Missouri. Real quickly, I want to recognize somebody. Blake, where's Blake? Blake is right over here. Blake works in our General Services division, and I wanted to just tell you a little story and kind of what it means. So one day I was out here at the memorial looking at the names, and I noticed that things were getting a little bit out of sorts, right? There was a little piece of the mortar that was coming up. And I said, hey, could we just fix that? That would be appropriate. You know, just fix that one little piece. And so Blake decided that when he got here, he said, that's just not good enough. He said, we need to do a proper tribute. And so in the hottest days of weeks of the year, Blake came out here and dug up every bit of mortar out of the memorial and replaced it. And it's not so much what he did, but I think it's because he, like many other MoDOT employees, understand the importance of this monument, and he performed that work with the utmost care and respect. And I think that just is emblematic of the story of all of us. We have so much respect for our coworkers, and I think that just kind of shows the respect we have. So Blake, thanks for displaying that in your work. Appreciate that. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the most recent employee that lost their life in the line of duty. Jay Bone was from Kansas City District. Jay was struck and killed during a routine flagging operation on September 24th, 2024, which was less than a week after our last Day of Remembrance. That kind of hit home for me. But he was a senior maintenance worker at the time of his death. He had been with the department since 2015. And Jay is just one of the 140 examples of employees throughout MoDOT's 100-year history who chose to risk their lives for the betterment of Missourians. Every day, we have 3,000 folks that go out on the road to do just that. That sacrifice affects their fellow employees, but it really has the largest impact on the families, right? When you're part of the MoDOT family, but it's really your family that supports these folks that do this work every day. So we would like to express our immense gratitude to every one of you and assure you that we're doing everything in our power to improve the safety of our work zones and to raise awareness about the dangers of reckless driving so another person's life never has to be immortalized in stone. Safety is always and will be our core value, ensuring that each one of us and our coworkers go home safe every day at the end of their work. Finally, I want to thank all of you for being here today and letting me take part in the ceremony. I've been at the department a long time. Many of the names that'll be read later, when those names are read, those are people that I knew personally. And I can go down the list, you know, Bill, Kenny, Jeffrey, Lyndon, all of those people were people that I knew. And when I hear the names read, I remember personal things about them. I remember the jab they made at me or the joke we told or the things that we did or the work that we worked on together. And I'll never forget that. And also, as a result of that, I've had the opportunity to meet the families of many of those that I knew and many of those that I didn't. And I can just tell you that knowing the few that I knew personally and have met the families of those, these are top-notch quality people, and I'm sure that every one of the 140 is. But I can tell you from where I sit, the ones that I know personally and the families that I've met, it is just emblematic of the quality of folks that we have in the MoDOT team. And so that is just, very heartwarming to me. I know it's painful, and I'm privileged to be able to honor our heroes and their families during this ceremony. So now I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Safety and Operations Officer, Becky Almeroth.
Thank you, Ed, and good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to join you all today to remember and honor our fallen workers. I will tell you, I remember when this memorial was constructed and how the memorial was constructed, and it really was completely fundraising efforts by our employees at MoDOT. And to see this being our 13th annual and still some of the same groups doing the Ride for Remembrance and some of the same fundraisers, it's just extremely heartwarming to see how much pride we take in this, and taking the opportunity to have this memorial right outside the building where I work every day. This is where I walk every day. When I take a break, when I go for lunch, to honor these employees, to make it my mission to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure everybody goes home at the end of the day every day. So really appreciate the efforts of those that still continue to fundraise to honor those fallen workers. As Ed said, at MoDOT, safety is a core value in our mission statement, and it's something I take to heart every day, every hour. We do everything we can to keep our MoDOT families safe on the job, just like you would do for your own families. While we lead this ceremony with heavy hearts, it's also important to remember the talents, loyalty, and hard work demonstrated by each of our fallen workers. These characteristics are only part of who they were as people, but their contributions to making Missouri better live on through us. We take pride in knowing that they were part of the MoDOT family, though we lost them way too soon. As we move forward with this ceremony, we will be reading the names of each team member we lost in the line of duty. Reading the names of the 140 employees that we lost is a way for us to honor them and to keep their memories alive. MoDOT employees from across the state have volunteered to read names of their coworkers we are paying tribute to today. We will now read the names of the 140 heroes that we have lost.
My name is Matt Mays. I will be reading the names from the Northwest District. Claude Atkinson, Elid Doyle, Larry Graves, Kenneth Hasbrook, Joe Houston, Joseph Hughes, Clarence Ingalls, Lloyd Land, Randy Munmuster, Roy Murphy, Wendell O'Neill, Ivan Ramsey, Cleo Rode, Lawton Roberts, Thomas Snuffer, Otis Stretch, William Art Walker, Donald Wyatt.
My name is Travis Cooper, and I will be reading the names from the Northeast District. E. Baker, Beckman, Harold Hesse, Danny Leak, Elmer Lean, Donna Lindsay, Robert Bob Mayer, William Miller, Sidney Mitchell, George Pfeiffer, and Lowell Tallman.
My name is Connor Weatherby, and I'll be reading the names from the Kansas City District. Howard Anderson, Floyd Ash, Jay Bone, Minton Burrow, William Caldwell Jr., Garth Camden, Burl Chambers, Lloyd Crawford, Clarence Foster, Leroy Hall, Melvin Harris, Ray Edward Hayer, Calvin Johnson Jr., Marilyn Keller, Gary Dean Kirby, Devere Limbacher, Julie Love, John Mather,
Of those employees, so you can imagine how difficult it is to read those names. If you don't mind, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Those we have tragically lost were loyal public servants to the state of Missouri. They willingly put their lives on the line to perform transportation work for the betterment of Missouri's roadways. We will never forget the sacrifices of these 140 people and their families have made for the sake of the traveling public. Every day, we analyze our safety protocols, look for ways to make things more efficient and effective, from increased safety trainings for all MoDOT employees to innovations in safety technology that allow our field crews to more safely do their jobs. Getting our employees home safely to their families will continue to be the most important dedication of our jobs. As always, we ask each of you to please buckle up and keep your phones down, especially in work zones, and remember the part that you play towards 0 injuries and 0 deaths on Missouri roadways and in Missouri's work zones. 13 years ago, the first day of Remembrance, we all took a moment to recommit ourselves to our safety pledge. This is a tradition we have continued each year to remind ourselves of our commitment to work safely every day. The safety pledge is printed on the bottom of your program. Please join me in reciting it. Give everybody a second to grab your program. Okay, please repeat or please recite with me. Safety is one of MoDOT's core values. I will fulfill my moral obligation to the public, my coworkers, and myself to safely carry out our mission. I want to thank everybody for attending today. As you leave, please stick around as long as you would like to, fellowship with one another, share stories, remember these coworkers that are on our memorial, and please take a time just to come up to the memorial, just soak it in so that we can honor those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Again, thank you so much for attending today.